What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package and infrastructure update and daily news report for Thursday, July 1st. Yes, we are finally in July. This means starting this month, we are going to see 6 months of payments for families, parents with children. You will receive, if you have a child that is 17 or younger, you're going to start receiving between $250 to $300 per month for your child. This is going to go for 6 months until December, and then after that you will get an additional 6 months of payments as a lump sum payment once you file your 2022 tax return for 2021. So that's what we're going to see. Now this is really good for parents. However, experts are saying that if you do not have children, this policy could potentially negatively impact you if we see inflation because of this. Many are already anticipating we will see massive amounts of inflation. However, these will be temporary. Okay? These will be temporary. Now keep in mind that just because we are going to see these monthly payments would eventually have came out as a tax credit. So even though the previous child tax credit was $2,000 per child per year, now for 2021 at least, it is $3,000, so it's an additional $1,000 or $3,600 for a child between 0 and 5. So I just want to point that out because that's actually very substantial. That's a substantial increase. Okay, so going from $2,000 up to $3,600, it's a pretty big increase, but some say that this should not do too much to inflation. So we'll see as we move forward. But experts do warn us. Okay, experts are warning parents as well. Don't just go and waste this money. Use it wisely. So I want to bring this to your attention. One of the reasons why some are saying that this could hurt us and negatively impact us is because experts are saying right now, and they're warning us, that these payments will most likely lead to a slower recovery in employment. And I want to bring this up today because today the new jobless claims report came out this morning. We now know another 364,000 Americans filed for unemployment benefits for the first time last week. That number was actually expected to be 388,000, so we did beat expectations by about 24,000 people. So that is really good there. But some are still wondering why so many people are filing when there are still so many jobs available. Roughly, there's about 10 million people that are unemployed, and there's about 9 million open positions, at least according to the last reports. So some are wondering, why are all these people going and quitting? Are they being laid off? For what reason? Here's what we know. One of the reasons why many people are leaving their jobs is because workers are shifting past at this point. The pandemic has changed things. It really changed things. And here's what you need to understand. This is causing workers to quit and look for other work because they don't feel appreciated. They're not being paid enough. They don't have the benefits that they need and have asked for, or they're just tired of working in that position. So people are just shifting, and this is something that the pandemic has done. Also, many people are doing this and are quitting because employers are going to need to shift as well and find the right group. So as people quit, as these different employers have to fill these different positions, what they're going to find is it's going to be easier to find somebody that can do multiple positions as opposed to just one. So they do multiple positions, but you pay them a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit more enticing to get somebody in the door if you're going to increase your pay a little bit. And so that's kind of what we're seeing. Things are going to change moving forward, and I just want to keep you up to date on what we are seeing at this point. However, experts are saying that the reason why Americans are hesitant to get back into the workforce isn't necessarily because of pay. It's actually because they are still fearful of contracting the COVID virus. And others say that the reason why they aren't going back into the workforce is because there's a plethora of jobs available. There's so many jobs out there that some are saying that the employee has more power at this point than the employer. And because of that, they also have weeks left, or maybe a couple months left of unemployment benefits. And so when you couple a plethora of jobs with more unemployment benefits, right now some are saying they have the time to choose the perfect job. And I've been saying this for months. I've been saying this exact same thing for months, that right now employees have more power than the employer. So use this time wisely, find the perfect job, okay, the right wage, okay, go and apply. If you have to improve your skills a little bit, you have a little bit of time to do that. Go and do it. Get the perfect job. There's so many jobs out there. Find the one that best suits you. So let's get into this. Because a lot of lawmakers are saying right now that with unemployment starting to get back on track, the unemployment rate's dropping, and we'll see more tomorrow. We'll see what tomorrow brings, because tomorrow is the jobs report for, was it May? Yeah, for the month of May, or June, excuse me, whatever. Anyway, so we're gonna see this. We're gonna see this tomorrow. This is gonna come out tomorrow. It's gonna be pretty big. Now, do I think this is going to be big for the discussions of this infrastructure package? I honestly don't. I don't think this is going to be very big for the infrastructure, the bipartisan bill package. I just don't think that's going to change things. Could this impact the social infrastructure package? Yes, it could. This honestly could, but really we don't know what lawmakers are going to discuss until after the report comes out, and then probably after the 4th of July, probably sometime next week. Now, I'll continue to bring you updates over this weekend, but my guess is we're not going to see a lot of new reports from lawmakers discussing different ideas based off of the report that comes out tomorrow on the job list, on the new job or the jobs report. So as we get more information there, I promise I'll fill you in on those details as well. But here's what we are hearing. Lawmakers are saying right now that they are fighting over how to pay for this infrastructure package. Because one of the things that was actually brought up is one of the ways that will be used to pay for this package is to give the IRS $40 billion, and in return the IRS is hopefully going to bring in $100 billion plus in uncollected tax revenue. Okay, that sounds good. Well, Senator Ted Cruz, he thinks we should just abolish the IRS and not give it any more money. Okay, he's a Republican. Senator Blackburn from Tennessee, also a Republican, says that giving the IRS billions of dollars will lead to more potential abuse, fraud, and waste. All right. And then we got Senator Lindsey Graham, another Republican. Well, Lindsey Graham questions how much uncollected tax dollars the IRS will be able to gather with $40 billion in funding. What you need to keep in mind is Senator Lindsey Graham is actually in favor of providing the IRS with money. Okay, so that's a little bit of a change, because really Republicans don't like the IRS. They don't like the IRS because the IRS continues to go after them, and it's not just Republicans, it's really anybody, but they go after the American people, try to collect tax dollars, whether it's for investments, real estate, stocks, right, business income, whatever. The IRS is always trying to go after you to collect any money that is still owed to them, which is obviously it's their right. That's one of the things that we do in this country is we pay taxes, right? So Republicans at this point don't support the $40 billion that is going to the IRS to help pay for this $1.2 trillion infrastructure package. Well, if that's the case, then this entire deal is pretty much dead before it even begins. It doesn't have the support. It does not have the support, and that's where the Biden administration at this time, they're struggling to figure out how they're going to pay for this bill, because according to President Biden himself, he says this bill will only pass if it's fully paid for. Well, it's not looking good at this point. Now, here's something else I want to talk about, speaking about not supporting things. Right now, Republicans are not in support of providing any more relief to student loan borrowers. They are saying that student loan borrowers have received a good amount of additional support, and borrowers have received a lot of support. They haven't had to pay any payments on their loans for like a year, or about a year. Okay, and that's going to end in the end of September 30th. That actually expires, so the pause on payments ends October 1st. It's done. Payments will continue to begin again, or start to begin at that time. Also, they say having your loans go to 0%. you don't accrue any interest over this time, that's huge. I wish I could get a home loan, car loan, right? A credit card where I don't have to make payments and I get charged 0% interest on the money that I borrowed. That would be incredible. That would be incredible. So Republicans say that student loan borrowers have actually had pretty good success, and they've been able to take that money and either use it just to live and survive or put it into other things. So we'll see what happens as more and more reports come out on that. But here's what we know. Right now, many Democrats want to see President Biden forgive up to $50,000 in student debt per borrower. However, President Biden doesn't know if he has the power to do this. He's still waiting on the Education Secretary to figure out if he has the power to do this through an executive order. However, reports are indicating that right now President Biden, even if he does have the power, he does not want to cancel up to $50,000 per borrower. He would be okay with $10,000, but not $50,000. He says it's just too high. But when the Biden administration, what they are actually working on, and this is kind of interesting, they're actually working on trying to figure out if they should pause payments or extend the payments, the student loan payments. Should they extend it past September? A group of lawmakers, a group of Democrats are actually pushing President Biden to pass, to extend this payment, this non-payment, and extend it for like 6 months. I think until like March 31st. So that's actually pretty big. So if you are a borrower, you could potentially be payment free for the next 6-7 months, 8 months actually right now. So many Democrats are pushing this, but they only want to do this, and this is where I think this is interesting. They only want to do this if President Biden is seriously planning on canceling this debt after that. Otherwise, they're pretty much just saying we're just kicking the can down the road. If all we're doing is just extending the payment, the non-payments, we're just kicking it down the road, and eventually it's going to be a burden to all these people in the near future. And so that's something that Democrats don't want. But just last week, 64 lawmakers urged President Biden to take action before September 30th. They want him to pause the payments until March 31st, and they say this pause should be permanent. This should be permanently extended until the economy returns to pre-crisis levels. Now let's break that down, because this has a lot of people questioning. And just when I saw this last week, I thought, wow, this was pretty important. Just that what they were saying is that these payments should be paused permanently until the economy returns to pre-crisis levels. Well, this brings up other questions, and this is something that I'm asking. Are student borrowers more important than renters? Because renters right now, their eviction moratorium will extend at the end of this month. Their federal eviction moratorium, it expires at the end of this month. It expires. Done. Is gone. Right? Are student loan borrowers more important than the unemployed? Because if you remember, many people, millions of people have unemployment benefits that are canceling or canceled already. So these people on unemployment actually lose benefits on September 6th. Well, lawmakers are saying, well, we need to give more relief to students past September 30th. Well, what about the unemployed? What about people that are renting and can't afford their rent, are going to be evicted? Are they more important than them? And are student loan borrowers more important than the people that are food insecure? Because what we know is that many states are already getting their SNAP benefits adjusted back to the pre-pandemic levels. Many people are getting their SNAP benefits canceled. Just getting them canceled because now they're making too much money. So it's becoming a big issue is, okay, who's more important? Is it students? Is it people on Social Security? Is it the low-income earners? Is it women and blacks and Hispanics and Asians? Who is more important? And that's the problem that lawmakers are having is, at this time, nobody can come out and say, oh, well, we need to provide more assistance to women. No, because we can't do that. Because if we just provide assistance to women, what about the men, right? Or, oh, we need to provide more assistance to the Hispanics. Well, no, we can't do that, because then we got, the blacks. Then we got Asians, right? Oh, we can't forget about women. And so this is becoming a big issue. We have to provide assistance to every single person, no matter what their color is, no matter what their race is. We have to provide assistance to every single person. It does not matter. It doesn't matter their gender. Okay, men, women, them, they, if they're gender neutral, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Here in the United States, we are all Americans. That's the key. We need to provide fair. We need to be fair, but at the same time, we need to pass assistance. And that's the problem that lawmakers are having. One lawmaker stated the other day that by being fair, it's actually slowing down the process. Being fair is actually stalling all legislation. And it is. Let me ask you, and you can answer down in the comment section below. Now, I am open. I would gladly help anybody out there. If my taxes increase because we're going to help out the lower income earners, or blacks, or Hispanics, or Asians, or women, that's completely fine, right? I understand that. That's part of being here in the United States, right? And I'm okay with that. However, if we are sending money to other countries, that's something I'm not okay with. Okay, sending money where I didn't agree to send money to a different country. I'd rather pay for the people here in this country. Make this country better. That's what I want to do, right? But we don't have the option to do that. So let me ask you, right? Let me ask you, should we be, increasing taxes and putting it back here into our country, or should we be sending it abroad? Because that seems like that's what a lot of people want to do. I don't know. I don't know right now, but what I can tell you is, I'm open to providing more assistance to people. That's great, especially those that are having a tough time in certain areas of the country that are struggling at this point. That's completely okay with me, but again, I'm just one person. So that really brings up the question, who is the most important? And that's where lawmakers are struggling, is they can't provide a fair bill that covers every single person. And the only one way to do that is actually by giving a stimulus check. That is it. And so according to experts, the most fair way to provide any relief, any assistance to the American people is a stimulus check. There's no other way around it. So, arguing for student loan forgiveness of up to $50,000 per borrower is great, but what about the rest of the country? That's what they're asking. What about the rest of the country? What about the people that don't have student loans? What about the people that never got into college and they did everything else that was asked of them? They got a job, they worked, they paid their taxes. Should they be rewarded too? And this is where some say yes, they should be rewarded, but the only way to really reward them is with the stimulus check. Now, possibly a stimulus check could come from this and come from this argument. However, some say that the economy is growing much faster. It's improving much quicker than many expected. And so right now, they just want to see if the economy improves. If it improves, awesome. And then they will determine whether canceling student loan debt, maybe extending the payment moratorium, or things like that could be in order. So again, these are just things that we will see in the near future. Now, let me bring up some other news. Just yesterday, former President Donald Trump, he said that he has come to a decision on whether or not he will run for president again in 2024. Now, he didn't give a definitive answer. However, he said this, and I quote, "It's not that I want to. The country needs it. We have to take care of this country." But let me ask you, and you can answer this down in the comment section below, does this sound like former President Donald Trump will be running for president again in 2024? Let me know. I'm just curious. I know what I'm thinking this says, but let me know your response down below. We also know that Johnson & Johnson, they stated that their vaccine may protect against the Delta variant. Now, it is still being studied, so we don't know 100%, but experts say that you should be protected if you did receive the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Now, this comes out because Moderna actually announced that their vaccine is effective towards all variants of COVID, not just the Delta variant itself. So that's actually good news that people will not, if they're still wanting to get a vaccine, they will not be fighting over which vaccine to get. So that is actually very good news right there. So that's what we know as of today. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. I just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your July 1st, Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon. Again, if you could, go ahead, hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. Also, consider subscribing so that I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on. And I'll see you guys on the next one.